For the better part of the 20th century, New York City has boasted the world's most iconic skyline. Now, through the first quarter of the 21st century, advances in engineering, along with years of coveted air rights acquisitions, have rendered a particular slice of this skyline more compelling than ever. Today, the structures of Billionaires Row host the tallest and most valuable residential buildings on the globe. Among them is 111 West 57th. With its timeless step-back design, floor-to-ceiling windows, terracotta tiles, and bronze trim, it blends the best elements of classic, Art Deco, and contemporary architecture. But perhaps the most striking feature of this property is its shape. .111 has an astonishing 24:1 height-to-width ratio, making it the world's thinnest skyscraper and its most mesmerizing. 1,100 miles to the south, another iconic city is witnessing a radical transformation. With its burgeoning financial district and rising cultural significance, Miami has not been quiet about its aim of becoming the singular cultural hub of the Americas by the year 2030. In the wake of this goal, the city has seen a massive influx of wealth, and to accommodate this change, developers have eagerly adapted. By early 2028, Miami's newfound significance will have fully materialized in the first 100-story building south of New York City. The Waldorf Astoria won't just be tall. It'll be one of the most striking residences ever constructed. The building's 9 glass cubes, stacked slightly off-center for perspective, will reach a staggering 1,050 feet above sea level. Inspired by the works of a famous 20th century sculptor, this structure is pushing boundaries and blurring the lines between art and engineering. 2 masterpieces in 2 world-renowned cities. But aside from their high price tag and aesthetic appeal, what do they have in common? Both projects were built by the same private developer, Property Markets Group. As the name suggests, PMG is in the business of building exceptional properties in the most promising markets. So it's no surprise that PMG would build 2 of the world's most luxurious and innovative condos in these iconic cities. But there is a third city that this developer has in its crosshairs. In fact, according to their portfolio, it's the only other metro area in America with 3 PMG developments in it. But surprisingly, this city is hardly a household name. Welcome to Sarasota. To catch up the audience members who aren't actively researching this area, Sarasota is a city of fewer than 60,000 residents, but where it lacks in size and recognition, it compensates with its geography and its charm. Sarasota has been picked as USA Today's #1 place to retire twice in the past 5 years. It features 4 world-class barrier islands, including TripAdvisor's #1 ranked beach in America and the 4th ranked beach in the entire world. Add in phenomenal food, retail, and entertainment, and it starts to become clear why Sarasota is attracting people from every corner of North America and beyond, looking to boost their quality of life. Although the demand for luxury condos has surged here in Sarasota, the city is serious about maintaining its small-town charm, enforcing stringent zoning restrictions on building height, so you won't see towering projects pushing the bounds of engineering here anytime soon. But compared to the rest of PMG's portfolio, its Sarasota projects might just be the ones that you'd actually want to live in the most. As PMG breaks ground on One Park in downtown Sarasota's newest neighborhood, we'll spend the rest of our time peeling back the layers of this incredible building. And by doing so, we'll investigate how One Park is one of Sarasota's most pivotal projects, contributing to the city's budding global prominence as one of the most attractive places in America to invest and to live. My name is Michael. I'm a realtor in the area, and on this channel, I discuss the developments I'm genuinely excited about. If you end up enjoying this video and you appreciate a beautiful home, consider subscribing to help this channel grow. And for those of you using this video to help inform your next purchase, feel free to contact the number on the screen throughout this video at any time for our real estate services. From discerning which aspects the developer is most negotiable on, to referring the best attorney to review and amend your contract, to recommending which units pose the greatest resale value, and most importantly, for a non-biased objective opinion about how all of these projects stack up against one another, our services offer the greatest strategic advantage when purchasing a home in this area. And working with us will not alter the purchase price of your unit. And with all that out of the way, let's dive deeper into One Park. The location of One Park is an important piece of the story. Not only does it explain the inspiration behind the name of the development, but it speaks to the lifestyle of its soon-to-be residents. One Park will sit, both literally and figuratively, between two groundbreaking components of Sarasota's newfound identity: the Quay waterfront district and Bay Park. The Quay is a privately owned 14-acre residential, commercial, and retail hub, while Bay Park is a new project which will turn 53 acres of publicly owned buildings and parking lots into a world-class public park. While neither of these projects are completed at the time of recording, both have completed initial phases which give us a taste of the final product. The Quay's continuity was made possible by a single investment group purchasing the entire 14-acre site in 2014. The site has subsequently announced projects from a number of developers including Coulter Urban, Quarterra, and of course PMG. In recent weeks, we've seen the announcement of yet another project, which gives us a more up-to-date picture of what the development will look like upon completion. Looking at the neighborhood so far, the first delivery was in 2021 with the Ritz-Carlton residences. Then in 2023, another Coulter Urban project titled Beso was completed. Shortly after, Cordelia, the luxury apartment building from Quarterra, was finished. In early 2025, Ocean Prime Restaurant opened. And looking into the future, beyond One Park, future projects will include the completed restoration and repurposing of this 1926 Mediterranean Revival apartment, a second Ritz-Carlton residences next to the existing building, and in 2025, the existing Hyatt Hotel will be demolished to make way for a third Ritz-Carlton residences, along with a luxury mixed-use project titled 1000 Boulevard of the Arts. Along Quay Commons, the first floor of every condo and apartment building will feature retail, dining, and entertainment. In total, the Quay will hold 695 residential units, 175 hotel rooms, 39,000 square feet of office space, and 190,000 square feet of commercial space. Next door to the Quay, on the other side of Boulevard of the Arts, Bay Park is set to undergo a $200 million renovation to restore the natural beauty of the precious waterfront land and to provide its residents a far more intimate relationship with the water. So far, Phase 1 of the park is complete, and Phase 2's $65 million plan has been fully funded and approved. Phase 1 currently features a kayak launch passing through a mangrove bayou en route to Sarasota Bay, the oval outdoor amphitheater, a covered dining courtyard, green space, and playgrounds leading out to a sand shoreline and the future location of the Sunset Pier deck. But as you can see from a bird's eye view, the project is still in its infancy. Upon completion, this area will be unrecognizable. Upcoming renovations include a repurposing of Sarasota's iconic Van Wezel Theater and the creation of a brand new performing arts center a few hundred feet to the north. Recent renderings of this project from the appointed architectural firm reveals a form molded by Sarasota's geography, built to withstand the harsh realities of storm surge on the bottom, but also to maximize the natural light and breathtaking views of Sarasota Bay. Beyond the theater, the park will feature a canal district with more direct access to the water, including kayak and boat launches, a cultural district, with a tree-lined promenade in Town Square, a waterfront restaurant yard similar to Sparkman Wharf in Tampa, and most importantly, the elimination of the existing parking lot to make way for natural, green park space with parking outsourced further inland and walk bridges across US 41 for easy access from the center of downtown. Turning now to the building, PMG entrusted the local firm Hoyt Architects with the design. Over the years, Hoyt has been Sarasota's greatest aesthetic influence, sculpting a large portion of the Sarasota skyline, including some of Sarasota's most distinguished buildings currently in existence and many of its most exciting upcoming projects. Hoyt's style varies, but most of their downtown projects offer a contemporary, minimalist approach with a high concentration of glass. Like the Sarasota School of Architecture movement, a primary concern of Hoyt's design appears to be concerned with maximizing the flow of natural light in the interior spaces. Similarly, One Park's design will primarily honor function, with floor-to-ceiling corner glass walls, glass railing throughout, and terraces oriented towards maximizing the water views. The primary role of this building design is to bring Sarasota's stunning natural landscape inside the living space of every unit. Beyond the primarily glass facade, the elevation of the building will feature a sleek and modern look. The contours of the building will avoid right angles, opting instead for converging diagonal lines. Views from the ground will reveal subtle wood trim along the bottom of its balconies and covered area to balance out an otherwise sleek and modern look. The structure reaches Sarasota's max zoning allotment of 18 stories, and upon completion, One Park will temporarily hold the title of Sarasota's tallest building. There are plenty of other 18-story buildings in Sarasota, but each of One Park's floors are 14 feet apart from one another, causing each floor to appear higher than ordinary. As an example, One Park's 5th floor will stand over 63 feet above sea level, which is higher than the popular rooftop R on the 7th floor of the nearby Art Ovation Hotel, with the difference becoming more pronounced with each ascending level. Starting from the ground and working up, the first level will be dedicated to high-end retail and restaurant space, while levels 2 and 3 will be dedicated entirely to parking. Additionally, the northern side of the building features 4 townhome units, which also encompass the first 3 levels of the building. And moving upwards, the 4th level will be dedicated entirely to private amenities. This amenity floor is truly the distinguishing factor of this entire project, with over 40,000 square feet of common area space, a number that is genuinely hard to conceive in light of the relatively modest size of the building. For reference, One Park offers over 4 times the amount of common area space than PMG's 84-story Steinway Tower from the video's introduction. For a more local reference, if you combine the amenity space of 4 local Colta urban projects, including Beso, Lamarck, and both Ritz-Carlton residences, the combined space would still not equal the common area space at One Park. The 43,000 square foot common area floor will feature a host of services and amenities, starting with the 24-hour concierge service to assist with everything from dog walking to booking reservations and activities, as well as valet parking. The remaining space on the 4th floor will host a Turkish hammam spa with private lockers, saunas, and steam rooms, a golf simulator, a theater, a club room, wine room, lounging area, and a multitude of workspaces, with each item on the list being significantly larger than comparable spaces in other luxury condos. The north side of the amenity floor will also boast a state-of-the-art fitness center with a large space for exercise equipment and cardio, along with separate rooms for cycling, yoga, and Pilates. These rooms will then extend seamlessly into the outdoors with more space for outdoor activities without having to leave the building. This outdoor space wraps around the entirety of the building for extra walking, and on the other side, to the south, you'll find a large resort-style infinity edge pool overlooking the Quay with side-by-side cold and hot plunges, along with poolside service with drinks on a spacious deck. Beyond the amenities, the 5th through 18th floor will host the residential units. In total, One Park will feature 86 units. The project has maintained a steady and consistent sales pace, with only 45% of the building still available for sale at the time of recording. The project features 4 distinct types of residences: the townhomes, lanai units, typical residences, and penthouses. And each of these residences has a variety of floor plan orientations. At the lowest level, the north side of the building will feature only 4 townhome plans. These are really interesting units with a private garage encompassing 3 levels in total. The first level offers a grand open floor plan housing the great room, kitchen, and dining room, while the second level houses both bedrooms, the office, and an outdoor terrace. On the third level, the townhomes offer a rooftop living space with a summer kitchen and a private plunge pool. The total specs on these townhomes are 2 bedrooms with an office, 2.5 baths, 3,088 square feet of interior space, 227 square feet of balcony space, and an additional 1,150 square feet of rooftop space with a 2-car garage. At the time of recording, all 4 of these units are still available. However, they have not been marketed by the developer yet or listed on the MLS. So if you have interest in these units, I would highly recommend reaching out to me for more information while they still have limited exposure. On the 5th level, the building will feature its lanai units. These are essentially identical to the typical residences above. However, the units feature more outdoor terrace space. This is particularly pronounced on the larger middle units. These middle lanai units offer 2,255 square feet of balcony space to the north, with an additional 429 square feet of balcony space to the south side of the building. At the time of recording, these lanai units, unfortunately, have all sold. Moving up to levels 6 through 17, we have the main stacks, labeled by PMG as the typical residences. For the typical residences, there are 6 total stacks, with 4 corner floor plans and 2 large center floor plans. Each stack will have its own private elevator leading straight into each unit. At first glance, the 4 corner stacks are almost identical, but they do feature a few critical differences. They all have very similar specs, from around 2,570 square feet to 2,750 square feet at 3 bedrooms, 3.5 baths, and a similar split orientation with the primary suite on the side of the great room and the 2 guest bedrooms on the opposite side of the unit. However, the north-facing residences 1 and 5 have a few very important advantages which contribute to their higher average price point. Most important among them is the view. Since these units are facing north to northwest, they'll have unobstructed panoramic views of Bay Park and Sarasota Bay behind it. Additionally, the north-facing residences feature a great room on the outside corner of the building, allowing floor-to-ceiling glass walls on the corner walls of the main living space, bringing in extra natural light and more panoramic views. Residences 1 and 5 are also about 200 square feet larger. On the other side of the building, the south-facing stacks, residence 2 and 6, won't have unobstructed water views, but they will feature some incredible city views. This building sits on what is currently the northwestern edge of downtown, so a vast majority of downtown Sarasota will be on display for these south-facing units, along with peekaboo views of Sarasota Bay, and also all the activity directly below in the Quay. As for the larger center stacks, they'll get the best of both worlds, as residences 3 and 4 extend through the entirety of the building. These floor plans are mirror images of one another, at 3 bedrooms with a media room and a separate office, 4.5 bathrooms, 3,996 square feet of interior space, and 838 square feet of terrace space. The primary suite and great room are located on the north side of the building, sharing a terrace and taking advantage of those sweeping park and water views, while the office and 2 guest bedrooms are located on the southern side of the building, sharing a terrace with the Quay and city views. On the top floor, we have the 4 penthouse units. All 4 of these units have sold, and for good reason. These are arguably the most spectacular residential units of any kind in all of Sarasota. The penthouse lineup features 2 distinct floor plans, with the 2 outer residences mirroring one another and the 2 inner residences also mirroring one another. The inner residences share the same floor plan as the typical residences 3 and 4, while the outer floor plans also stretch the entirety of the building, essentially combining the northern and the southern corner stacks. These end units feature 4 bedrooms, a media room and an office, 5.5 bathrooms, 5,317 square feet of interior space, 1,360 square feet of terrace space, but the major distinguishing factor of all 4 of these penthouses is the additional space on the rooftop of the building. While many of the Sarasota luxury condos feature a common area space on their roof, One Park's design has dedicated the entire rooftop to the penthouse owners, with 4,970 square feet of rooftop space for the interior penthouses and 6,670 square feet of rooftop space for the end unit penthouses. On these rooftop terraces, owners will enjoy a private deck with a covered lanai on the northern end and private plunge pools on the southern edge. And most importantly, tremendous panoramic views of downtown Sarasota, Sarasota Bay, all the barrier islands from Manatee to Sarasota County, and along the horizon, views of the Gulf of Mexico. Moving to the inside of the building, to the interior finishes of the unit, the developers understandably want to save many of the specifics for their internal sales presentations, but I'll briefly touch on the design scheme, materials, and appliances. One of the unique things about this project is how streamlined the interior selections are, which offers some additional benefits to the buyer. At this point of the development process, virtually all the vendors and materials have been picked, and while the design experience isn't entirely custom, the quality of materials and standard features appear to be more generous than many of the developers' competitors. As an example, One Park will feature fully built-out primary closets with stained Italian oak, glass, and built-in lighting. And the primary bedroom will feature a built-in midnight bar with a dual-mounted sink and refrigerator. As far as general finishes go, the kitchen will offer Italcraft cabinets, along with a marble or quartz waterfall countertop and backsplash combination from an array of shades and patterns. Units will offer a variety of flooring options in material and tone, including marble, porcelain, or engineered hardwood. The bathrooms will feature floating Italian oak vanities along with porcelain floors and walls. The residences will also feature luxurious Waterworks hardware throughout the entire unit, along with an incredible lineup of Wolf and Sub-Zero appliances. The exterior of each unit will also feature Matte porcelain stone flooring, and each terrace will be equipped with a summer kitchen featuring quartz countertops and an outdoor grill. I imagine at this point, many of you watching who haven't actively researched this project online yet are wondering about the price tag. The developer, again, has understandably guarded much of this information, saving a bulk of the availability for their sales presentations. I do personally have a high degree of knowledge about the quantity and location of remaining units from recent meetings with the sales gallery for existing clients, but unfortunately I can only share that information one-on-one with those of you who reach out directly to me. In the meantime, I can, however, share some basic information about the building's pricing structure, along with the exact prices of a handful of the listings they have released. As far as these 6 typical stacks go, there are some general rules about the pricing which will help you get a better grasp of the building in its entirety. Stacks 6 and 2 are the smallest stacks and also have the least amount of water views, so they'll have the lowest price point. Stacks 1 and 5 will have a higher average price point, and the larger 3rd and 4th stacks, which extend the entirety of the building, will feature the highest average price point. But since these interior floor plans are significantly larger, they actually have the lowest price per square foot out of all the units. As you would expect, the lowest prices will be offered at the lowest floors, and the prices will incrementally increase as you move up the building. As far as what is actively listed, the lowest price unit listed on the MLS is Stack 6 on the 5th floor, Unit 506, at $2.7 million. Then there's another south-facing unit, Residence 2 on the 11th floor, Unit 1102, priced at $3.15 million. And moving to the northern part of the building, with water views, Residence 5 on the 7th floor, Unit 705, is listed at $3.73 million. And the final active listing in this building is Residence 1 on the 14th floor, Unit 1401, for $4.59 million. But keep in mind that this is just the tip of the iceberg, with 45% of the entire building still available. Generally, there are far more city views in the building than water views. At the current time of recording, there are 7 total units left with water views on the north side. When taking into account these prices, in addition to the floor plans, the views, the amenities, and the location of this project, One Park may very well be the best overall condo offering in Sarasota right now. But not everybody would agree with that. And in certain scenarios, depending on the particular needs of a buyer, my recommendation would certainly change. And because of that, this video will be the first in a series of videos that will cover every major luxury condo project in Sarasota. From the buildings that were recently completed to the most recent announcements, the amount of projects hitting Sarasota is frankly overwhelming. And so this series will aim to cohesively present the entire lineup of options and hopefully entertain a broader audience along the way. In the meantime, I would strongly invite any serious buyers to give me a call for a more immediate and direct conversation about all the options. And to everybody else still watching, thank you guys so much for watching. The goal of this channel is definitely to rapidly increase the production quality of these videos and increase the reach as well. So if you enjoy what we've done so far, we really appreciate you liking and subscribing and sharing. It does wonders for our standing in the YouTube algorithm, and it's really greatly appreciated. Aside from that, we will see you guys very soon.